Hey, greetings good people and welcome to a new episode of Mosh Pits. This time around we're going to be talking about Cyberpunk, but before we start doing that, I'd like to ask you, how many of you did manage to get their hands on an RTX 3060 Ti? Now, I've done a video on that and a lot of you have actually watched that video, so yeah, I'm actually quite interested because one of my friends did manage to get his hands on one of them. Well, he did manage to order it, I mean, of course, but he did have to order 3 different models until he got one confirmed to be shipped. So yeah, not that easy with this time around with the 3060 Ti either, but you know, maybe we're going to get a lot more stock in the upcoming days or weeks, so definitely get subscribed if you want to get informed about that, because I might be doing a video on that as well. Now let's talk about Cyberpunk 2077, like I was saying, and it feels surreal to be thinking that this game is going to come out in about a week from now, assuming that they're not going to be delaying it again. And this time around, Cyberpunk has blessed us with their photo mode, and we have been able to have a look at it and how amazing it looks, to be fair. Now, they've also included some Easter eggs in there, and one of them comes from Sailor Moon. I, of course, did not expect to see that, but hey, thanks, Cyberpunk. And to be fair, I'm really expecting to see a lot of people taking some great pictures, because some people are very great at doing all of those things. I personally am not. I have dabbled a bit in photo mode in Horizon Zero Dawn, but I can't tell you that I had the greatest pictures. But you know, if you are going to have some awesome pictures, then do make sure to share them around here. And who knows, maybe because I'm planning to do more Cyberpunk 2077 content around here, then maybe I'll be able to share some of them around here. So definitely get ready to send me some pictures and get subscribed if you want to see more content around that. Either way, now let's talk about something else, which is the PS5. Now, apparently the PS5 has different fans and it might impact your Zen, so watch out for that. Now, Le Numérique discovered that Sony's consoles have different fans for the very same console. My understanding is that these are the same console, so not the digital versus the normal PS5, so do pay attention to that as well, sorry for that. Now, Fan A that they're showcasing has been found to exhibit to be 4 dBA quieter than the one which has been shown by Sony during their PS5 teardown. And if you're a person that doesn't necessarily like to be disturbed by console noises, by console's fan noises in this case, then you're most probably not going to like this console a lot. Now, they've also included some recordings of the coil whine and fan noise during gameplay and during idle as well. So if you're interested, you can go and check out their article in the video description. But personally, I think that Sony just realized that their fan was a bit too loud, made some changes and shipped a new batch of consoles. It's just simple as that, since not everyone would be able to notice such a thing, but I'm glad someone did show it to us that it might happen. And unless this sounds like a PS4 Pro Jet's engine cooler, if any of you have owned a PS4 or PS5 Pro, you might actually know that those were not the quietest things ever. Then I don't think a lot of people would have noticed. But either way, let me know what you think about all of those things in the comment section. Would you be angry if PlayStation shipped you the louder fan, or do you not care at all because you always use headphones? I'm actually curious about that. Now, Samsung might be saying bye-bye to the Note series of phones, and this one is definitely interesting. Now, in previous Mosh Pits episodes, I've talked about the S21 at length, including the chip on this phone and the S Pen support for the S21 Ultra, and the latest rumors indicate that Samsung might be ditching the Note series of phones to focus more on foldables and bringing more S21 models, which will definitely bring up a ton of confusion among consumers as well. So yeah, not that great. But my only question right now is, will these be the S21? Like, are they going to have a bunch of models and one of them is going to be the S21, 21, 21 Savage? And yes, a friend asked me to make this joke, sorry, it's horrible, but you know, or will they stick with the same old naming scheme that's like S21, S21 Max Pro Ultra 5G iPhone-y? Either way, if you want to see more coverage on that phone, then definitely go out and check my other videos, and definitely go and give a watch to Aaron, who I think he has also talked about that as well. If not, if so, then you're gonna find links to that in the video description. Either way, let's move on. Now, speaking of Samsung, the Galaxy Buds Pro are also expected to be released with the new S21 devices, and we've already gotten a look at them through an official render, and I can't say that I'm the hugest fan of the color. It kind of makes them look more like a toy, but hey, who am I to judge? Now, we will most probably see those come in white and black as well, so definitely don't worry. But now, the most important thing is that if these come out, I mean, they will, but there are two interesting things to consider. The older Galaxy Buds will get cheaper, so hooray for that. And the S20 and yeah, the Galaxy Buds Pro will most probably be bundled with the new S21 smartphones, which again, super great. Now, talking about something else, Dr. Lisa Su is actually going to host a panel at CES in 2021. This is going to be in January as well. And speaking of January, that's also when Samsung will be releasing their new smartphones, just so you know. And this kind of gives me hope that we'll actually see her talking about the new RYZEN and RTX laptops as well. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then do make sure to check out my video on that, because I've already made one on it. So yeah, there you go. There's reasons for you to subscribe. You're always up to date. Either way, in their post on Twitter, AMD said that Dr. Lisa Su's keynote during CES 2021 will be focused on presenting the AMD vision for the future of research, education, work, entertainment, and gaming, including a portfolio of high-performance computing and graphics solutions. And what do you think that means in translated from marketing speech to, layman's terms? Well, they're most probably going to be talking about Ryzen and Radeon, and of course their mobile CPUs and mobile GPUs. And speaking of mobile CPUs, the 5800H has leaked. And to be fair, these aren't the greatest results, because this was still an engineering sample and they didn't push it to the wall basically in this case, so definitely don't feel that bad about its performance. Now, we have learned some more things about it, which is that it's going to have 8 cores and 16 threads and a boost frequency of 3.2 gigahertz and 16 megabytes of L3 cache, which again is double than what the previous generation of mobile processors from AMD had. Now, the GPU clock on the Ryzen 7 5800H is also expected to be around 2.2 gigahertz. In this case, I was thinking that it's going to be a lot more, but no, it's actually 2 gigahertz, and the whole chip should have 45 watts TDP, which should also be configurable down to 35 watts. And I mean, this is sure not something like you seeing on the new M1 chips or Intel's chips, but this is also going to allow for some better performance. Don't forget that this chip is also based on the Zen 3 architecture, which of course is going to bring a lot of performance. Now, the weird thing is that AMD is also, so for the 5000 series, they're not all based on Zen 3. Some of them are based on Zen 2, and if it's an 8, it's a Zen 3, it's 6, it's a Zen 3 as well. Either way, you're going to have this on screen, but come on, AMD, what are you doing here? It's very confusing. And since we've been talking about some events that are going to take place, let's talk about one that just took place before recording this episode, which is the Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 reveal event that took place today and yesterday as well. But yesterday was just a deep dive and it was really boring. But either way, this also took place, and now it's time to tell you more about it. Now, this chip is very exciting, and we're getting quite a performance uplift, which is 25% in CPU power and 35% in GPU power. But that's not all. They've also added support for variable rate shading, so if developers choose to implement this in their games, you're going to see an even bigger uplift in performance. So hooray for that. We're finally going to be able to play some more demanding games on our phones, but I'm not a mobile gamer, so it doesn't really matter for me. But hey, if you're a mobile gamer, then do make sure to let me know, and also let me know what you're playing on your phone. Either way, let's talk more about this chip, because in terms of networking specs, we've also seen the X60 modem support for 6 gigahertz Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.2, and of course some better 5G, because come on guys, we care about 5G, don't we? Cameras are now going to be far better as well, and if companies decide to implement all of these technologies, meaning that, and if they will, of course, this means that you'll be able to shoot 2.7 gigapixels per second and use all of your lenses at the same time to create some stunning photos up to 200 megapixels, which can have extreme dynamic range. Surprisingly enough, the low light architecture for the camera will also serve for the creation of stunning night photos, even at 0.1 lux, which is super dark, much like having only a full moon as a light source. And I'm actually really excited for this and their triple ISP, not internet service provider of course, but rather their image sensor processor. Of course, gamers are also getting up to 144 Hz refresh rate panels, so get excited for that. The lowest level of touch latency ever, which I think it's more important in this case, especially if you only have a 60 Hz panel screen, upgradable GPU drivers, and a lot more. In terms of AI, we've also seen Qualcomm make some changes and improvements over here, including bringing 3 times the performance per watt and beefing up their tensor, scalar, and vector cores. All of those things combined will of course make the next generation of smartphones a heck of a lot faster. Now, I'm definitely excited for this, and I'd be curious to see what kind of tech they get out of this processor, because like I was saying, each smartphone manufacturer can choose which parts of this SoC they would like to choose. So this is definitely going to be exciting, and it's also going to be exciting to see the 2100 from Samsung, so their Exynos chip, because they're actually going to be releasing that at the same time with the S21 phones. So yeah, great news. Let me know what you think of those things in the comments below. And yeah, this is pretty much the end of this episode. It's definitely been a weird one, but I had so many things to take care of today and I'm feeling a bit hyped. So yeah, let's not keep it on for any longer. Thanks you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Do make sure to get subscribed, because I have a lot of more content planned around here. Either way, this has been Alex with the Red Elk, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.